This is a Christmas Eve edition of your Barbados Today Morning News Update. Good morning. An overhaul of the nation's welfare system is among the government's New Year's resolutions as part of a bid to restructure the society. Word of this from Prime Minister Mia Mottley during a signing ceremony with the Caribbean Development Bank for a US $75 million loan on Monday. She said the government's plan will include new approaches to fighting poverty, various forms of abuse, non-communicable diseases, and a range of other social ills. She noted that while there is much excitement about the country's economic progress in some circles, some sections of the society cannot relate.
Those social reasons range from being victims of all types of abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse. They range from the chronic NCDs that regrettably are affecting not just older people, but a lot of younger people in our community as well. They relate to the inability to modernize our welfare system. Our welfare system is still very much based on a Victorian approach that is service-centered rather than being people-centered, rather than looking at moving families from the point of dependence to a point of independence to a point of giving back to people. And all of this requires significant restructuring if we are going to turn the corner.
Mottley suggested that even past governments, which led the country during good times, experienced difficulty getting to the bottom of the social reasons for poverty.
Having removed the economic constraints on growth in our society, we did well, but we were not able to go into the bowels of our society and remove the social constraints that are reflected in why people are not moving out of the bowels of poverty. This time round, we want to do it.
President of the Barbados Union of Teachers, Sean Spencer, remains confident he will be able to withstand ongoing attempts within the union to have him removed from office. Just a week after former BUT Public Relations Officer Dwayne Goddard demanded Spencer's resignation, accusing him of failing to properly represent the union, Spencer suggests his record speaks for itself and he has the support of members. However, Goddard told Barbados Today he expects to have the 20 signatures needed by the end of the week to secure a special meeting of the union membership to raise a motion of no confidence. In other news, the Sanitation Service Authority will continue to utilize the services of private waste haulers. That's the word from SSA Chairman Senator Rudy Grant, who told the Senate during debate on the Returnable Containers Amendment Bill 2019 yesterday that the private waste haulers will tackle yard waste.
Very often, Barbadians cut the grass around the house and they bag the grass and they leave the grass there. There are times that the Sanitation Service Authority is not able to immediately collect that yard waste. Sir, I would have reported to this house before that with the full complement of garbage trucks, the SSA would no longer need to engage the private waste haulers. But we would have been having some discussions, and we are exploring the possibility of utilizing the private waste haulers to assist us in the collection of the yard waste. That is very important, so that while we have a situation where we have more garbage trucks, at the same time we are able to deploy the private waste haulers to assist us now with the collection of yard waste.
Meanwhile, Senator Crystal Drakes is backing government's decision to extend the deadline for the ban on single-use petrol-based plastic bags from January 1, 2020. The ban is set to take effect on April 1. She was speaking during debate on the Control of Disposable Plastics Amendment Bill 2019.
I am happy that that transition is happening, and I'm happy that the government is making the amendments to delay the ban to April 1st, 2020, to ensure that those businesses stay in operation at this critical time, and that persons are kept employed in those businesses. And in doing so, they're also still holding firm that we must move away from petrol-based plastics being manufactured here in Barbados. And what I also urge those in the sector to do is not wait sometimes for the government to have a heavy hand to make those types of innovative transitions, but to do the research and make those transitions even in the wake of not having to do it. It shows that they can, And this is something, more of a lesson learned, that there are things that we can do and we should do in Barbados as it relates to research and development, and clearly we're capable of doing it.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Craft Center. Kick off the weekend this Friday from 4 p.m. to midnight with loads of food, drinks, and entertainment. Get ready for Crop Over with the Rhythm Root Street Parade. Party like it's Kadooman Day on the street around Pelican Village with costume reveler, music, and more. It's Festive Friday. It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Village Center from 4 p.m. to midnight. Admission free.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional news now. In the Bahamas, the country is gearing up for a ban on plastics, which takes effect in exactly 8 days. More in this report from ZNS Television.
Well, you may want to think about adding bamboo straws and canvas bags to your Christmas wish list, because in less than 10 days, the nationwide plastic ban will be on. Following in the path of many countries around the world, single-use plastic bags, cutlery, containers, and straws will be banned in the Bahamas come January 1st. And while you won't immediately see plastic bags completely gone from grocery and retail stores, Senior Environmental Officer in the Ministry for the Environment and Housing, Rihanna Neely-Murphy, says after a 6-month transitional phase, there'll be some changes. Both businesses and the general public expected to comply with the new laws.
We will not be knocking on the doors of homeowners to see if you have plastic bags under your cabinets or anything like that. So you will be allowed to reuse those, but as of June 30th, if you are found with these things on the street or anywhere like that, you will be subject to fines. There are similar fines for individuals ranging from $100. So again, we don't want to be the ones caught up in this. This is not a fad. We're doing this to protect our environment. So we want to make sure that that is the message that is out there. We want to make sure that our environment is clean and healthy, that our fish that we depend on is clean and healthy, that our beaches and our marine environment is clean and healthy. So we hope that all Bahamians will be in compliance with the ban and not try to just be rebels.
On the international front, Saudi Arabia has sentenced 5 people to death and 3 to jail over the murder of a Saudi journalist. But a UN investigator accuses the country of making a mockery of justice by allowing the masterminds of last year's killing to go free.
3 more people have been handed jail terms totaling 24 years for covering up the crime. A further 3 suspects on trial in secretive proceedings in Riyadh were found not guilty. It's 14 months since Khashoggi walked into the Saudi consulate in Istanbul and was never seen again. He was there to receive papers ahead of his wedding, but instead he was murdered. His body was reportedly dismembered and removed from the building. The whereabouts of his remains are shrouded in mystery. Khashoggi was a US resident and critic of Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the kingdom's de facto ruler. His death caused a global uproar, tarnishing the Crown Prince's image. The CIA and some Western governments have said they believe Prince Mohammed ordered the killing, but Saudi officials say he had no role.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumia Media in bus terminals, as well as Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. Have a terrific day.